And for this I want like a dub chord sound, so I'm going into my sample pack I just released, which has ambient synths, dub chords, field recordings, tribal percussions. I'll put a link for it in the comments, but I'm just going to go ahead and grab a dub chord out of here. So I'll just go for this sample for now. Again, there's a link for this pack in the comments, guys. Please go check that out. And I'm just going to put in a MIDI clip. And I just want this first sound playing. So I'm adjusting the endpoints, so we just got that first part of the clip playing, and I'm just going to normalize the volumes. And I'm just going to run it into mono, just for this example. Alright, so we got our basic sound there, and I'm going to go ahead and get the echo device. So this is the classic dub effects box technique where you get like big dub sirens and stuff. I don't know if you've heard that sort of sound before, but what I'm going to do is show you real quick. I'm just reducing the time so it's really short and unlinking them again. And what I want to do is go into the modulation section, turn the feedback right up first, and I want to modulate the time here, and I want to change it to like quite a slow time. And in the filter section here, I want to give it some resonance. And I want to give it a nice big reverb. So this is basically the technique. I'm just going to change it to ping pong mode. It sounded better on stereo. Okay. So I'm going to change the mix down, turn the mix down to like 15%. And what I want to do is get another spatial effect, like I'll just put a delay on here and turn the feedback right up. And now the basis of the idea is like whenever I want a dub siren, I'm just going to turn the feedback up right here. So you get these lovely sort of sound clash, raster, dub sirens. Here you go into the modulation section and mess about with the shape of the LFO, for instance. Change the timing. So yeah, man, I love this technique. Let's go for this shape. So yeah, that's basically it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and yeah, the sample pack and my Patreon and everything is linked in the comments. I'd love you to go check that out. And this Ableton live set is available to download via my Patreon. Big up everybody, thanks to all the subscribers, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Hi guys, this is Mirror. This Ableton live set will be uploaded onto my Patreon, and you can go download that from the comments. So the Echo device can be used as a ambient drone machine. And for this I'm going to be running a sine wave into it using Operator. And I'm using a sine wave because they don't have any harmonics. Well, they've just got a single harmonic. And I'm going to be adding harmonics via the saturator in the Echo device. So I'm going to drive the input on it. So I want a bass note, a really low frequency note like this. And if we turn the input up and turn the output down a bit so we don't hurt our ears. We have saturation. If we press this D button here, it will saturate like the dry and the wet signal together. Now I'm going to unsync the delay here and change it to like a pretty short time, and actually unlink them so I can set the other channel to like a slightly different time, and that will create kind of a chorusy effect. And I'm going to give it some ping pong here and reverse the phase, which will kind of clean up the sound. Sometimes you get phase issues, and if you press this phase reverse, it just makes the sound a lot cleaner and fuller. And I'm going to give it some reverb here. And I'm going to turn the filter off. Just turn it down a bit. And if I drive it all the way up, it's quite a dramatic effect. And I'm going to go back over to Operator here into the LFO. Activate it, and I'm going to unmap it from destination A and map it to destination B and set it as the volume. Turn it up, and turn the rate up a bit. And we could sync it. I'll sync it to like 16th note. What about 1/8? And we could fade the LFO in a bit. So now there's an inbuilt filter in the Echo device here, and I'm going to activate that. And on the high pass here, I'd like to modulate that. I'm going to do it with a Max for Live LFO. You could do it with the modulation section inside the device here, but I'm going to do it with the LFO because Visually, it's a bit clearer as to what you're doing. So I'm just going to press map here and map it to this frequency here. Press sync and set it to quite a slow time. Turn the depth down and turn the offset down so it's going into the low end. Let's have a listen to that. And a really good thing to do is to put some white noise in there. So back over in operator, on oscillator B here, I'm setting it to noise white. Let's have a listen to that. And over here in the algorithm section, I'm going to set it to this one here. And that will change it into a subtractive synth. So we're not getting FM synthesis off the white noise anymore. It's just a sine oscillator and a white noise oscillator. They're not affecting each other. And I'd like to modulate the level of this oscillator here. So I'm going to grab another Max for Live LFO and map it to the level there. And set it to the same timing as the LFO, which is in operator, which is 1/12. Turn the depth up a bit. So yeah, you can hear the white noise going into the distortion and reacting with the sine wave in a really pleasing way. So I'll upload this set onto my Patreon so you guys can go check that out. There's a link for that in the comments. And if you're liking the content, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Peace. So for this technique, I'm going to be utilizing the gate and the ducking in the echo device. And the first thing I'm going to do is create a synth that has a lot of range between low velocity and high velocity notes, and also in the frequency range. To do that quickly, I'm going to be using a Max for Live device called Rosa, which is a MIDI step sequencer. If you don't know what this is, I made a previous video and I'll link it right here. So I'm going to get Rosa to generate a MIDI sequence for me automatically. I'm just going to pick a scale and I'm going to choose the Chinese scale, and I'm going to go over to the octave range and set the top one to 3, so it's got 3 octaves of range it's going to choose from. So this live set will be uploaded onto my Patreon and you guys can go download it from the comments. So let me press random here. So at the moment the velocity is not affecting anything because I have to go into operator to actually set the velocity to, like, say the volume myself. And next I'm going to change it to a saw wave. I'm going to change it to the MS2 filter. Turn the cutoff down a bit, give it some resonance, and activate the envelope. And back in the modulation matrix, I'm going to set the velocity to the filter envelope amount. So I'm going to go back over to Rosa and fine tune the velocity settings. So now the synth's basically dialed in. I'm going to go into the echo device here, and firstly I'm going to go into the filter and take out some of the low end and apply some resonance to the high end here. And now I'm going to go into the character section here, and I'm going to activate the gate here. So now all we have is the dry signal of the synth. So all the notes below the threshold aren't reaching into the delay, you're just getting the dry signal. So as I reduce the threshold amount here, we'll start getting notes like into the delay, but only the high velocity notes. So I'm just going to activate the reverb here. And now I'm going to activate the ducking. So this acts as kind of like a side chain. So the dry signal is going to duck the wet signal. So if I reduce the threshold here, we'll start to hear it. I'll bring it all the way down. It's quite dramatic. I don't want it to be that dramatic. Round about there. And so a really good thing to do with your delays and your reverbs is to put them on their own channels so that you can EQ out any unwanted frequencies and apply effects to them like independently. To do that, I'm going to set it to 100% wet and press Ctrl G. And I'm then going to put in another chain, so we've got a dry chain, we've got a wet, and dry. So I'm going to go ahead and just set a nice balance here between the two chains. So if we have just a wet signal, we just have a couple of notes coming through into that delay. And as we bring up the dry signal, we get a whole bunch more notes. And I'd like to apply some effects to the wet chain, and I've got a new plugin from Valhalla. It's a freeware plugin called the Space Modulator, and I'm going to put that after the delay here. And it's kind of a flangey, chorusy kind of effect. I'm just going to go through the presets to find something I like. Choose a chorus preset. I quite like this spatial chorus, kind of detunes it a little bit, creates a little bit of dissonance in there. Now I'm going to grab an EQ, put it on the wet chain again, and just take out any low end, up to about 170, and then I'm going to comb through, find any harsh frequencies. I'm just going to turn that down a bit. So another really good thing to do would be to go back into the Rosa device, and in the velocity section here we can set the number of steps here, and I'm going to change it to like say 9 steps. So it's like a polyrhythmic modulation of the velocity parameter. but every loop will have a different, quite a dramatically different sound, especially as it's going into the delay, which has the gates and stuff. We're actually getting like different notes coming through on each loop, and it creates like really interesting loops. And to take the technique a bit further, in the rosa here, I'm going to map parameter 1 to the decay on the filter envelope. And just fine tune that. And I'm just going to put in a quick kick drum, just using the 909 core kit. Just a 4 to the floor kick. And I'm going to go back into the synth here, and I'm going to grab a compressor and put it on the wet channel. Activate sidechain and have the input coming from the kick drum on that core kit, and reduce the threshold here, and we have a nice ducking effect going on. Set the release time. We could also go into the echo device here and give it some filter modulation. And I'm just going to change it to ping pong mode to see how it sounds. You can change the modulation to ×4, which gives it 4 times more modulation. Let's try that out. So it's sounding pretty good. I'll just put in a few more drums here. Going to group these 2 tracks together and put some saturation on the group. So yeah, if you enjoyed that technique, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And I'll be uploading this live set onto my Patreon. There's a link for that in the comments. There's exclusive content on there, regular uploads of sample packs, and more. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.